All right, this is Complete Athlete Podcast where we get your next level in your sport and in life, that sport being baseball. We have Cam Husby here today. How we doing, Cam?
Good, how are you?
Dude, I'm doing well. You know, it's Sunday, the sun's shining, baseball season's right around the corner. Snow is going to be melting, hopefully, but we're supposed to get dumped on here shortly.
Yeah.
So I don't know if you heard about that, but that might tinker into your senior season here. Hopefully baseball doesn't start later than usual.
Yeah.
But yeah, so for kind of how we do these things, especially since you just recently committed, we'll get into that and everything, is just tell us a little bit about yourself, kind of your baseball journey growing up, like what teams you played on, even as young as like T-ball or like whatever age you started. Just tell us a little bit about yourself.
Yeah, I started playing T-ball, I think, when I was 6. It was at 5 or 6.
Where'd you play at?
St. Francis.
St. Francis?
I think they were like little rec leagues.
Okay.
So I did T-ball, and then I did like 2 years of like rec, and then I did a year of Soderville, I think. So then I started like travel baseball at 10.
Okay.
So
Nice.
I first made that team and met like all my buddies I have now.
Yeah.
Played with them since I was 10 until like now I'm 18. So
Yeah.
Um,
That's awesome.
yeah, I also played with Blizzard for like 3 years. Started my freshman year.
Cool. So when you were doing that, like obviously starting T-ball, then playing some Soderville rec leagues, and then starting traveling at 10, and then mixing in Blizzard, some good club baseball in there, like were you still playing with your association during that time too, or just doing Blizzard?
Blizzard was, I did my first year was in winter. It was like fall and like winter, so
Yeah.
you got to go travel and stuff. But I also had to mix that with hockey.
Oh, man.
So that my freshman year, I got called up to varsity not varsity, to high school.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to play another year of youth, but we didn't have enough kids at my age to almost play at a high youth level.
For traveling?
Mm-hmm. So coach just thought it'd be best for us to go up to high school. There's like 4 of us that went up.
Okay.
And yeah, I remember having this conversation with my coach. I was like, "Hey, I have to like go to Arizona this weekend. Hope that's cool because we already bought the the plane flights and everything.
We can't go back on this. There's no return."
Yeah, and he was not too happy with me. He's like, you already committed to this, and that's more or less what he said.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I don't play varsity anyways. I'm a
Yeah.
JV. I'm a 9th grader.
Yeah.
So I didn't understand why he was so mad at me, but
Yeah.
yeah, I do remember that though. So.
Okay. That's tough. I mean, I remember I started playing club ball, I think it was like 10th or 11th grade year,
Mm-hmm.
and I had some of those circumstances too, and it's like deciding if you're going to go to, because this was for hockey, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So for me, it was basketball. Like, do I go to basketball or do I go to my club baseball tournament? Because I was a pitcher, and I'm like, I want to go pitch. Like, that's what I love doing. And similar thing with you, probably. Like, I know you play catcher or third base.
Mm-hmm.
Like, if that's what you like doing, and you're gonna get noticed from that, that's what you want to do. But that conversation is tough with a coach because you don't want to disappoint him.
Yeah.
Especially as a freshman, you're like, I need to prove myself, so I better listen to what coach is telling me.
Yeah.
Right.
And we just went over like power play and penalty kill, and I was like, well, I'm a quick learner too. I've always been my whole life.
Yeah.
It just comes easy to me.
Mm-hmm.
So I was like, can you just like draw it on a whiteboard? And he's like, no, I think we really need you there.
Yeah.
And I was like, well, I can't go, so I'm sorry.
Yeah. So how did it, go over with that? Because you obviously chose to go play some baseball down in Arizona, and I'm sure you had a blast.
Yeah, really fun. One of my best tournaments I've ever had too.
Awesome.
But
Was it a showcase tournament or something, or just a normal tournament?
just a
down there?
normal one.
Yeah. Okay. Cool. Some good competition.
Yeah. I caught for Isaac Morton. I don't know if you know what that is, but Texas A&M commit.
You know I coach at Smith Park, right?
Do you do? I did not know that.
I'm the 9th grade coach there.
Oh, so you
I know,
you know
Isaac.
him.
I know Isaac.
You know him, yeah.
Actually, we threw one of our freshmen in the fire last year for preseason.
Yeah.
And just he got a bullpen for Isaac, and
Oh.
the ball comes out differently from him.
He was throwing, I swear, it was like mid-80s and like maybe a little bit lower, but I know he was for sure throwing 80 miles an hour
Yep.
as a 9th grader. And for me, I've always been catching these kids at St. Francis. We've always had a somewhat good pitching staff.
Yeah.
I mean, my grade's always been fairly good.
Mm-hmm.
But the highest I've seen was probably like 72.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh.
When I was 14.
Oh, when you were 14, like you had some good pitchers this last year on the varsity roster. But
Yeah.
this is when you were younger.
This-
you're saying.
yeah.
Yeah. I got you.
This was down in the Arizona tournament. So
Yeah.
I was like the only catcher, and then it was Isaac when I was like tight or something.
Yeah.
'Cause he was also a catcher back then. And I remember we were playing this good team. I think they're out of Arizona. They could really hit the ball, but I could not catch any of Isaac's stuff. It was all fastballs right to my glove, but I couldn't catch it. It was too fast. It was like
too
too
fast?
fast for me to comprehend. First time ever catching for him, no bullpens or anything.
Really?
Before that, so.
Oh, wow. Yeah,
Mhm.
that's tough with a guy like that. Like his ball spins out of his hand like completely different. That's what happens when you have guys throwing that hard. I don't know how hard he was throwing then, but
It was hard.
it was hard. Yeah, and the spin rate was probably up there. And I don't know if
Yeah.
they probably had they had some technology reading that back then, right? Or maybe not.
I don't know. Probably not at that tournament. But
Okay, yeah, but then did you catch some bullpens for him after?
I had to.
Yeah.
I was like, or even
I
just
have to
sitting in
learn
front
this.
of the pitching machine. I was like throwing 90 or something, just so I could get comfortable to like the movement of the ball, even just the fastball. It's
Yeah.
a straight ball, but sometimes they're not straight.
Yeah,
Especially
yeah.
in Isaac's cases. So.
Yeah, I know. He's trying to have a big comeback senior season here for high school. I know he's always done really well with club ball, but he's definitely trying to lead that staff this year for Spring Lake Park. So
Yeah.
I don't get to deal with the older kids as much, but I see him during, arm care week and all that stuff at the start, and then they practice at the high school field, and I'm with the 9th graders and 10th graders over at Lexington, the Red Barn over here in Blaine. But cool stuff. I love this. Do you have a funny story like throughout your years playing with teammates that's memorable to you?
I was thinking about this one really hard, but it's pretty much.
Don't think too hard.
I think it was pretty much the out of town tournaments.
Yeah.
Those are always just the best in any sport.
What, the hotel time?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Grabbing all the towels, going in the pool, soaking them, and whipping each other.
Oh yeah. There's
You don't remember that, Taylor? That stuff, man. You make the hotel staff pissed off. I'm telling you that.
That is a quick way to get kicked out of the pool area or
Oh,
wherever
it's
you
always
guys
the
are.
pool area. With my guys this last winter, it was the snack area and the hot chocolate. They were getting into that
Oh,
stuff.
really?
Yeah, they're just like all the kids when we were in North Carolina this winter. These 16-year-olds, they're just sneaking into the snack bar, and the hotel staff's just getting on my butt. And I'm like, guys, what the heck you doing?
Yeah.
But
There's a one tournament from Duluth. We were just there last night, so it brought memories back.
yeah.
And we stayed in this hotel by B-Dubs,
Mm-hmm.
and there's like a CVS or like some pharmacy down the road. And our whole team went down there, and we saw these balloons that were like helium filled or something. They were floating. So we bought like 4 of them and went back to the hotel and just started sucking them in, and I don't know, we had high voices. I do remember that one.
Those are fun, man.
Yeah.
Don't have it too much, otherwise you get real lightheaded.
Yeah.
You're like, whoa, I'm filled up with helium here. That's good. Those types of moments are like what you appreciate with like the camaraderie with baseball and any sports team really, but especially for baseball, I feel.
Mm-hmm.
So you recently committed somewhere back in November, correct?
Yep.
Yeah. Where'd you commit to?
Bethel.
Bethel.
Yeah.
Awesome. So like, what was the whole process with that? Tell us
Oh my
about it.
gosh. I don't know the specific time dates, but
That's fine.
I do I do different schools too.
Yeah, what you were looking at, I kind of want you to tell us about the whole process for you, like what you went through, like during the whole recruiting process. So it might help out some of our viewers. We have a lot of 15, 16-year-old kids who are kind of getting into that process here in the next year or two.
Yeah.
So like, tell us about how it went for you with looking at different schools and whatnot.
So I think since like 13 or 14, I've always, or maybe my whole life, I don't know, but I've always wanted to play college ball.
Yeah.
Or at least after high school. Didn't know where. I didn't really have any taste or of anything yet.
Yeah.
So I've always thought I could be like D1, like Vanderbilt, you know.
Yeah.
You don't truly know how good those kids are until you see someone like Max Clark.
Oh,
that
yeah.
that is that strong and that good and stuff.
Is
but
he your age or a year older?
my age?
He's your age?
Yeah.
Okay.
He's really good.
Yeah, man.
So, I think I was like 14 and 15, and I started doing Blizzard, and Blizzard does a really good job with trying to get your name out there.
Oh, yeah.
To all these college coaches and stuff. But you also have to output your work into the game too. So you also have to like do good in these tournaments.
You can't just rely on a coach just telling a coach about you. You got to show that coach when he shows up.
Yeah, and I did struggle with that. I think after my first year.
Yeah.
Because my first year with Blizzard, I thought I did pretty well, but after that, something happened. Couldn't hit a ball for the life of me. Big struggle. So
Yeah.
I procrastinated. Like the biggest part, I think, why I committed this late was I procrastinated a lot about texting these emailing all these college coaches. So,
Like you starting the process, or had the coaches
no,
reached out to you?
just starting the process.
Yeah.
I started probably just before senior year, so like this year,
Yeah.
like August, June, July, somewhere around there.
Mm-hmm.
But it's because my mom was on my butt about it. She wouldn't get. I appreciate that.
Yeah. Yeah.
I've always needed that.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Bethel. I actually did not or not. I didn't want to go to Bethel initially because I didn't think they were that good of a school. But they're obviously not. They just won MIAC last year. So
no, they do pretty well in the MIAC usually every year in and year out.
So Coach Richards, the assistant coach, actually texted me. He's like, "Hey, we want you to come play ball with us. Come take a look at our campus, and we can get you like a meeting with like Coach Robbie."
Yeah.
And me and my mom went there for a campus tour. We had like an hour talk with Coach Robbie. Very intense guy, but I knew from the second I saw him, like after his first sentence, he knew what he wanted out of his players. And
yeah. You want to follow a guy who can lead like that.
Yep.
Absolutely.
And I trust where he is bringing this program as a whole. It's one of the top D3 schools in the nation. I mean, I appreciate that a lot about what he's striving to do and everything like that.
Absolutely. No, that's cool. So did you talk to like any other schools or whatnot?
St. Thomas was a big one for me. It sucks that they went to D1, but I also thought that they wouldn't be recruiting as well just from going D3 to D1. I didn't think they were going to recruit that well. So I went to a couple of their camps, and then I went to the South Dakota or SDSU camp too. So like these Division I camps that I went to, I didn't do very well in them. So it's hard for like you email this coach and be like, "Hey, I want to come play for you," and they're like, "Yeah, come to our camp."
Yep.
You can't hit the ball. So all these kids are throwing hard too, though.
Oh yeah.
So
like, how did those camps go? Like, what's the process? Is it kind of like a showcase event, or what do they run you through?
Very, very long.
Very long.
It's like it's kind of like a showcase because you got all these kids that obviously want to play there too.
Yeah.
But you have to this whole signing in thing, then finding someone to play catch with. It's something as simple as that.
Yeah.
And then
did some kids know each other or no?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Some kids from the same school just go there together.
Yeah.
But
it was just you.
Yeah.
Probably the only St. Francis guy going. Yeah.
No one knows where that is. So, yeah. But yeah, very, very long process. Hitting took forever because you have to throw like 10, 15 balls to every single person.
How many are there?
Probably like 100.
Yeah.
It's crazy.
That is crazy. Yeah, Milo, who's coming in after you, he went out to Richmond, Virginia, so a small D1. And he just did like a camp like a few weeks ago, actually. And he said they had first invited a certain amount of guys out, and then he's going back out again here at some point. Like, basically, it's like a weeding out thing, like of the ones they want to participate in certain scrimmages and things like that. I don't know if that's how the SDSU went, but they have a different process, I guess. So I don't know if that's kind of what you went through or whatnot.
Yeah.
I don't know. But either way, so you did that camp, and then you came home, and you're like, I didn't do that well, and you just kind of...
It humbles you a little bit because you're like, I'm actually not that good, or at least not right now.
Yeah.
You kind of have to look at it like a different perspective, and you just have to be true to yourself. I'm not D1 ready yet.
Yeah.
That's kind of the way you have to look at it. So then you go down a level to D2 maybe.
Yeah.
And you look at some of these schools in Minnesota like Duluth and Mankato and Winona. And Concordia, St. Paul, like all those ones.
Yep.
So shoot emails out, and it sucks because I think I was pretty close to going to Winona if I would have emailed them like probably a week earlier.
Oh, really?
Because the coach was like, "Hey, I like your swing, I like your game," because I was creating all these highlight videos too. Yeah. On YouTube, and I was just sending them out like almost like spam emails.
Yeah.
I was just desperate at this point.
Yeah.
And he's like, we have another catcher that we're not completely 100% or 100% on yet. I'll get back to you once we make a final decision.
Yeah. So
then this kid that I went to the South Dakota camp, he actually committed to Winona. So
got it.
Yeah.
There you go.
It's
And
very unfortunate timing, but
yeah. Where would you say, like, from a skill level, like where you and him matched up? Were you guys
I think on
pretty
PBR, I actually put out better numbers.
Okay.
But it's about what you do with the coaches. You have to show the interest to them first.
Oh, yeah.
That's a big piece.
100%.
A lot of people don't know.
I think younger guys like yourself and even younger than you, like, they need to know that it's a communication thing. Like, if a coach knows that you're communicating with them and just letting them know, like, this is what I am, like, kind of showing your true colors right out of the – and not that you didn't, but you did say you procrastinated a little bit.
It was pretty bad, yeah.
Yeah. And was it just because you were, like, kind of anxious about the future? You just didn't really want to decide?
I think I was really nervous about what the true outcome would have been.
Yeah.
I didn't want to – I don't really know how else to say it, but I wanted to go D1 at the end of the day.
Yeah.
St. Francis isn't a very big town.
Yeah.
Especially, like, we don't output baseball players. That's not what we're known for up here.
Yeah.
Up there.
Yeah. It's 30 minutes north of here, so for our viewers listening.
But it's crazy how many people really don't know where St. Francis is.
Oh no, they
It's
hear
nuts.
about Blaine and Andover, and it's just a little north of there, right?
Yeah, it's just north of that.
Yeah.
And they just keep driving north for like 10 more minutes, and
Yeah.
we'll be in there.
They're there, but so yeah, you wanted to go D1, but here's the thing, like where you're currently at, like, would you rather like sit right away your
That's
freshman
what my
year?
mom was telling me, yeah.
Yeah, and you probably be getting sick of that.
Yeah.
We've had a lot of guys, a lot of our coaches like went JUCO first and then either D3, D2, D1, NAI, whatever after their first year or two at the JUCO. And the cool thing about that was like you're going to go to a D3. You're probably going to get playing time sooner than if you went to a D1.
Yeah.
From that standpoint.
Mm-hmm.
So D3 ball is great, man. So I'd be excited about it either way.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
and I hear you like Bethel, your mom was telling me.
It's a really like nice
Very-
school.
Yeah,
in
super
general.
nice. Yeah.
I didn't think I thought it was going to be kind of a dump. I don't want to be hating on Bethel, but I mean, I had so many like thoughts about it before. And it just because I played there for Blizzard on their field, and you just see the outside. It looks very old.
Yeah.
But once you go on the inside, I mean, it's nice. All these people are nice.
Mm-hmm.
It smells good. I mean, some colleges actually have a really bad smell because I've visited a couple. And it's just like, oh my god.
Are you saying like the dorms?
Yeah.
Yeah.
The dorms are
I
nice.
swear to God, if you say
There's a
Winona-
lot going on in them dorms,
I was
man.
gonna say if he says Winona State smells bad, I'm about to throw hands.
Lots of BO. I actually have been in some of those dorms when I visited Bertram. Yeah, it's not the best anywhere you go.
Mm-hmm.
And you said before, like, was one of your dreams like playing? Why do you want to keep pursuing baseball after high school?
I think it's just a sport that I put so much work into, and I've like a natural love to it.
Yeah.
It's weird. You'd think it'd be hockey because we live in the state of hockey, but
Yeah.
I think the culture is different too. I love all the buddies I play with now.
Mhm.
I've made a lot of memories with them in the past.
Yeah.
So I don't know. I just over the years I put in a little bit more work than everybody else, and if the more work you put in, it shows on the field.
Absolutely.
And having that slight more success than everybody else,
Mhm.
it makes you look better. It makes you feel better.
Yeah.
I love that feeling. I don't know.
Yeah. So from a work standpoint, you said you put a lot of work in over the years. Like during baseball season, like do you have a routine of what you do before games and during the weeks, like to keep yourself in peak performance ready?
So I had some pretty bad arm issues from like the age of 12 to like 2 years ago, maybe a year ago.
Oh, really?
So it started with the elbow and then went to the shoulder and then went back to the elbow. And then it was like no Tommy John sort of injury
Yeah.
but it was
Overuse?
overuse and just a lack of like back muscle, like like the scaps.
Yep.
So once I started training that, I started losing the pain a little bit, and that's pretty big for me is arm care. I mean, a lot of people need to know that is arm care is huge, and
Mhm.
you'll thank your arm at the end of the day and all the work you put in for it because you won't be in as much pain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I like to hit too.
Yeah.
Hitting's fun off the tee and everything.
Oh yeah, man! You crushed the ball off the tee.
Yeah.
We had you in some sessions this last winter. Like we're like, man, this kid can hit the ball. So excited to work with you again here shortly on that swing because you got a good pure swing. Like, would you say like from do you have a specific pitch you like that you sit back on, or do you hit balls to all? I don't even know where do you hit to all fields and everything. Or are you more of a pull hitter?
This last year, I actually went oppo. I think for like more hits than I think I pulled. It was crazy.
Oh, really? You're just staying back on the ball and driving in the gap?
It's because it's almost like because of my sophomore year during baseball, I pulled almost everything. And everything I went oppo with, I was because I was late, and it just happened to go in the hole.
Yeah.
So I was like, okay, well, I need to start going oppo more.
Mm-hmm.
So I started getting closer to the plate. And, yeah, it helped me with going oppo. Mm-hmm. But I have so much rotational power on the inside pitches that I couldn't get to anymore because my hands were too close to the ball.
Oh, yeah.
So I started kind of backing up, switching my stance a little bit. I'm still working on it, but nothing will ever be perfect.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. I think the reason why you probably enjoy baseball is because the constant work that you put in, it takes like little minuscule things that you keep getting better and better and better at. Mm-hmm. And even the pros, they think they still need work with their swings, even though they're all-stars or, MVP caliber guys. They're constantly changing things. Like I heard Bryce Harper, literally some stories about him, like of adjusting to like different things, like 2-strike counts, like purposely getting into them to work on certain things with his swing.
Yeah.
It's like I think baseball is such a mental game, but you put in all this work physically, but then you see like the fruits of your labor like getting better, and then you're like, okay, now I want to improve that. Okay, now I want to improve that, and it's a constant and unending circle,
Yeah.
So that's probably another reason why you enjoy it. What would you say your biggest accomplishment so far? I know there's plenty to come when you play college ball and whatnot, but what has been your biggest accomplishment so far? Either individually or as a team, because I know your guys' high school team had a pretty good year last year.
Yeah, probably going to state last year. That was a big one.
Yeah.
But, I mean, me and my team alone, we went to state. Not to brag. I'm not trying to brag.
Okay. But he's a humble guy, guys. He's a humble guy.
Our team went to state like 4 years in a row at like 3 at AAA and then the first one at AA.
Yeah.
I mean, we're just a good team.
Yeah,
I mean,
there you go.
We used to be able to compete with Andover and Centennial and all these huge schools.
Yeah.
And Blaine.
Yeah, how many kids are in your class at St. Francis?
My class alone is like 265.
265. Okay, so you're not teeny tiny, but you're not big like the other schools that have like 600, 700, 800 kids in a class. So that's awesome that you competed with those kids in your youth years, because that usually doesn't happen.
Yeah.
Well,
we're right in the middle of like Andover, and CI is right above us. CI actually has a lot of kids.
Cambridge Isani?
Yeah.
That's surprising. I mean, you'd think just because they're up there like way north, but they have a lot of kids that
they
come
do.
out. Yeah.
It's crazy.
Baseball.
They're not very good, but
he's just straight up saying it. Oh, that's funny.
We don't like them.
Yeah, well, exactly. Are you guys rivals in some way? Oh yeah. Okay.
Yep. I don't know. Just we always beat them. So
there you go. It's fun to beat the rivals, and they always want to beat you. So it probably makes it that much sweeter every single time you beat them.
Yep.
Do you have any influential people that you look up to in your life?
Yeah, my mom, my dad, and my coach, Jeremy. He's one of my buddy's dads, but he's been my coach since I was 10 to 14.
Oh, really?
But I think I'll start with him first.
Yeah.
He's probably the biggest reason why I am still playing baseball and still have the love for the game I do now. Mm-hmm. He put in so many hours outside of our games and practices, and he probably even during the off season too, to find all these YouTube videos and stuff, because he only knew so much.
Oh yeah.
But now he's adjusting to like all these band work and pitching mechanics and hitting mechanics and stuff. So I learned a lot of that early, and I feel like that helped me as a baseball player. And he was a very stern guy too. He knew what he wanted out of his players, his 10 players on his team.
Yeah.
But yeah, he pushed me very hard, and I really appreciate that about him, because I don't think I'd love the game as much.
Absolutely. It helps when there's a dad or a coach that puts in those extra hours outside of it, because like if he expects you guys to do that yourselves, like on the tee or just going out there and throwing and getting long tossing or whatever it is, like you appreciate that as a coach, and it's easier to follow somebody who is doing the extra stuff just like you guys are doing.
Yeah.
So I bet that feels really good. And then about your mom and dad, I know they've been there through thick and thin with you.
Yeah, they're the hardest workers I know.
Yeah.
They do everything for me, and I don't really know how else to say it, but that. I mean, the countless hours they put in just for me.
Driving you to and from stuff before you got your license, I'm assuming.
To get to my end goal is ridiculous. I cannot thank them enough.
Absolutely, man. Yeah, we always have those. Our parents are our biggest supporters, and we love them for that. So that's awesome that you have that in your life. It's hard to really get to your goals if you don't have that support system like you kind of have.
Yeah.
So it's good. And are you an introvert or an extrovert?
I think I'm in the middle a little bit.
Okay. Does everybody say this, Taylor? I'm pretty sure everybody says this. Like, if you're comfortable around us, you're more extroverted.
The word. You know the word more better than
ambivert. It's an ambivert. But it's all where you draw your energy. So do you, like, get energy when you're around a lot of people, and then after you leave them, you're like, I got all this energy? Or are you
That's great. Yeah, that's like, yeah.
That's how you are?
Yeah.
And you're more extroverted.
Oh.
Yeah. It's where you draw your energy. If you're with people for, like, a few hours, and then you come home and you're like, thank goodness, I'm so glad I'm here. You're more of an introvert.
Oh yeah.
Because you don't get energy from people.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I'm like teaching lessons.
Yeah, no,
here.
it's a psychology 101 lesson with Gabe.
Psychology 101, man.
He asks this question a lot, and it's funny to see, like, the high school kids are most likely the more, like, introverted type, but then when you explain it to them, they're like, wait, I am extroverted. It's like always like a realization.
Yeah, exactly.
I can be quiet around people I don't like or don't know, but
yeah, it's like when you first, I mean, you're not going to be crazy extroverted when you're around people you don't know, like, let's say at a baseball tournament and you're just meeting some guys or whatever, and I'm sure that's what happened when you were 14, but then you got to know the group and you guys got to know each other, and then you're like, I can say whatever I want around these guys, but I'm not going to be that guy right away because I don't want to be the crazy guy.
Yeah. That's pretty much me right there. So.
There you go. See, I'm not like that, so I just speak my mind a lot. Do you have a favorite training tool that you use for training on your own or in training sessions or anything like that?
For my arm, it's probably just bands.
Yeah, J-bands, love it.
I love those. And just for hitting is a tee.
Just a tee.
Just a straight little Tanner tee.
That's all you need.
That's all you need. I mean, if you use it right and if you take your time during hitting, I feel like you get the most out of your reps.
Mm-hmm.
And, I mean, I've watched YouTube videos and little things that pop up on Instagram every now and then, like how to hit off a tee. You know, just little mental things.
Yeah.
Like, take your time. You know, act like it's an at bat.
Yeah, see the ball coming in from the pitcher, imagine it,
Mm-hmm.
and like actually think it's moving, but it's not. Or, I don't know. Do you look at it kind of like that?
I don't actually look at the ball. I look where I look where it'd be coming from.
Yep.
And then I hit it. So
yeah, I think that's huge. I think a lot of younger youth kids now are just like, I don't need to hit off a tee, and it's like, the pros still do it.
Mm-hmm.
They spend like 500 swings with their top hand, 500, like whatever. They're doing 1,000, 1,500 swings a day off a tee.
Mm-hmm.
So if that tells you anything, right? So success leaves clues. You got to follow them.
Mm-hmm.
There you go. What are you currently working on to improve your skills for your senior season coming up here?
This year I played hockey, which kind of just keeps me athletic every year.
Absolutely.
In a different way.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't really find time to do much baseball training, but I think now that hockey's over, baseball will start up pretty soon. So, for me at least.
Oh yeah, you guys have an earlier spring break than I think everybody else is like a week or something later. At least,
really?
At least the ones down here in this area,
Yeah.
they all have it like the 12th to the 20th or something.
Yeah.
But you guys get to start a little bit earlier with some captain's practices, which is awesome. Where do you guys go and do that? In the gym at St. Francis?
Mm-hmm.
All right. You guys got some cages and stuff to put down there?
Yeah, so we got like 4 gyms, and then there's like tarps that go in the middle.
Oh, sweet.
But we have our third gym. It's my only flaw about the whole thing is the lighting aspect, because it's hard to see a ball like almost in the dark.
Has somebody gotten hit in the face?
Not really, not from that. Last year though, we did have to implement helmets in the cage. We never had to do that because no one's got hit in the head.
Yeah.
But two seniors were messing around, and
it's always when somebody's messing around, man. I'm telling you.
Someone threw a ball when he wasn't looking and hit him in the head and
ruined it for everyone.
Yep. It's just great.
Yeah. Well, better safe than sorry, you know. But dude, it's been great chatting with you today. I'm excited to come and watch some of your games this year because my house is like literally right down the road, so I have to come. And Taylor's brother back here, he actually plays for the East Bethel Bandits, so I've been to that field quite a bit. And I know Luke coaches the Silverbacks and whatnot. Do you know what you're going to do for summer?
He wants.
Oh, he wants you to play for the Silverbacks. Yeah.
He is right. Yeah.
We better not get Mason in here. He'll recruit you to play for the Bandits.
Mason's going to try to recruit you to the East Bethel Bandits as soon as possible. I guarantee that.
Do you know Ty Rosu?
That name sounds very familiar.
Oh, Mason knows him. Mason's
definitely
back
knows
there
him,
in the dome right now doing sessions.
Yeah.
But he probably knows him pretty well.
He's a St. Francis alumni, too. I think he plays for the Bandits.
Oh, okay.
So
Cool.
he used to be my coach for a little bit.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
Cool. Sweet.
Yeah.
And to kind of put this into words, what is your own definition of what a complete athlete is?
Someone that's never comfortable where they're at. They always want to train to get better. Do anything they can to get better. Yeah, I think that's what I do too. So.
Absolutely. Is there anywhere where listeners can find you online, Cam?
Yeah, my Instagram is cam.husby.
There you go. That's easy enough.
Pretty much it, yeah.
You know, one 16-year-old was in here. His name was Tropical Vibes. I'm like, holy crap. You need to
that
change
was
that right now. If a college coach is coming in here, he's going to be like, change it. What are you doing? But that's easy enough for anybody to find you. So we'll include that in the show notes. Thanks for coming on, Cam.
Yeah, thank
it's
you.
awesome to see you, like, even though we just met this last summer, like, over the last 6, 7, 8 months, you've had some accomplishments, getting to play college ball now for Bethel. The Royals are lucky to have you. Robbie's lucky to have you. I just saw him speak a few months ago, and I didn't even get to talk to him afterwards because he had to rush somewhere. But he's a really good hitting coach. He's going to work with you a ton and get you better, and looking forward to you dominating the MIAC here for years to come.
Yeah?
Absolutely, man.
Sweet, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
Yeah, I got family in Wentz Bethel too, so that's pretty cool. Like, but you didn't consider Winona. That's where I went.